Hey guys, tonight we slip into the flickering torchlight of an ancient Roman feast, where the air hums with laughter, clinking goblets, and the faint scent of roasted peacock. You're sprawled on a cushioned couch, silk tunic brushing your skin, as servants weave through the crowd, balancing trays of honeyed dormice and flamingo tongues. The host, some senator with a grin too wide, raises his cup and the room roars. It's opulent, chaotic, and frankly, you probably won't survive this without a serious stomach ache. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Drop a comment with your location and local time. I'm curious where you're listening from tonight. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You're in the heart of Rome, maybe 100 CE, and the banquet hall feels alive. Marble columns gleam under bronze lamps. Mosaics of gods and beasts sprawl across the floor, and the triclinium, those three-sided dining couches, cradle guests in a haze of wine and chatter. You're not just eating, you're performing. Feasts like this aren't about hunger. They're about power, prestige, and outdoing the guy next door. Your host, let's call him Lucius, spent a fortune on this. Historical records, like those from Pliny the Elder, describe elite Romans dropping millions of sesterces on single dinners, importing rare fish from distant seas, or peacocks from India just to flex. One quirky tidbit: some hosts sprinkled gold dust on their food. Not to eat it, just to watch it glitter. Tasteless, literally. But why the vomiting rumors? You've heard the tales. Romans gorging, then dashing to a vomitorium to purge and keep eating. Historians still argue whether this was common or just juicy gossip from later writers like Suetonius, who loved scandalizing the elite. For now, you're reclining, nibbling a stuffed olive, trying to pace yourself. The first course, the gustus, hits the table. Eggs, mushrooms, and a fishy sauce called garum that smells like a dock at low tide. You smirk. Modern fish sauce wishes it had this kick. A servant offers you wine, diluted with water, because straight-up booze is for barbarians. You sip, and the room spins softly. The vibe's relaxed but calculated. Every guest is watching, judging, networking. You're not just eating, you're climbing Rome's social ladder, one bite at a time. Lucius, your host, leans over, joking about his rival's last feast, where the lampreys died en route. Everyone laughs, but it's a sharp laugh. Status is a blood sport. You notice a guest slip a silver spoon into his tunic. Cheeky, but not uncommon. Some Romans collected banquet souvenirs like concert teas. You're tempted, but you'd rather not get tossed out. The music shifts, lyres and flutes, and a poet stands to recite something flowery about Jupiter. You stifle a yawn. It's going to be a long night. You're still sprawled on that cushioned couch, the Roman feast buzzing around you like a hive. The servants sweep away the gustus plates, and the air grows heavier with the scent of roasted boar and spiced wine. You're starting to get why these feasts were such a big deal, but the question nags. Why did Romans go so hard? It's not just about showing off, though, yeah, that's a chunk of it. You lean back, watching Lucius, your host, orchestrate the room like a maestro, and you realize this is Rome's soul laid bare, excess as identity. The Romans didn't invent feasting. Greeks and Persians loved a good party too, but they turned it into a cultural juggernaut. Historical accounts, like those from Livy, show feasts as early as Rome's founding, tied to military triumphs and public festivals. By the empire, private banquets became the elite's way to scream, "I'm somebody." It was less about hunger and more about control over resources, guests, even time. Hosting a feast meant you could afford to burn through wealth in one night. You see Lucius nod at a servant who unveils a tray of rare songbirds, each costing more than a soldier's monthly pay. You wince. Budgeting isn't a Roman strong suit. Here's a quirky bit. Some Romans believed overeating strengthened the body, like training for a marathon. Medical texts from Galen suggest purging was a health fad, not just party antics. You raise an eyebrow. Sounds like ancient keto gone wrong. But historians still argue whether this obsession with excess was decadence or discipline. Was it pure hedonism or a calculated flex of Roman virtue, proving you could master your body and wallet? You're not sure, but you're definitely not signing up for their meal plan. The room's getting louder, and you notice the social chess game intensifying. Guests flatter Lucius, but their eyes dart, sizing up rivals. You're offered a second helping of boar, and you hesitate. Pace yourself, or you're toast. The food's a status symbol, sure, but it's also a trap. Overindulge, and you look weak. Refuse, and you snub your host. You take a small portion, earning a nod from the guy next to you, who's clearly playing the same game. He whispers a joke about a senator who bankrupted himself on ostrich eggs. You chuckle, but it's a grim reminder. In Rome, extravagance is a tightrope. Wine flows, loosening tongues. A woman across the room boasts about her new villa, and you catch the shade in her tone. She's gunning for someone. You're starting to see the feast as a stage, where every bite, sip, and laugh is a line in a high-stakes script. The servants keep moving, silent but watchful, and you wonder what they think of this circus. Probably that you're all nuts. You sip your wine, the diluted tang grounding you, and brace for the next course. This isn't just dinner, it's Rome's beating heart, and you're right in the middle. You're still nestled in the triclinium, the Roman feast swirling around you, a kaleidoscope of clinking goblets and half-drunk laughter. The latest course, grilled mullet drenched in garum, sits heavy in your stomach, and whispers of the vomitorium start tickling your ears. You've heard the stories, Romans gorging until they can't, then sprinting to puke so they can keep going. It's the stuff of legend, but as you scan the room, no one's bolting for a bucket. So, what's the deal? You lean forward, curious, as the truth starts to unravel. Let's get one thing straight. The vomitorium wasn't a vomit room. Historical records, like those from Seneca, reveal it was an architectural term for the passageways in amphitheaters, letting crowds spill out fast. The puking party myth likely grew from later satirists, like Juvenal, who loved skewering Rome's excesses. But vomiting at feasts, not standard. You catch a guest across the room, looking green though, and you wonder. Some Romans did induce vomiting, maybe with feathers or herbs, to ease overfull stomachs. A quirky tidbit? Emperor Claudius reportedly kept a doctor on speed dial for this, per Suetonius. Gross, but practical in a pinch. Historians still argue whether vomiting was a flex or a fiction. Was it a rare elite habit, exaggerated by critics to shame the rich, or just a practical fix for nights that went too far? You're betting on the latter as you watch a guest discreetly slip out, hand on his belly. No one bats an eye. The feast rolls on. Servants clear plates. Lyres hum. And Lucius, your host, calls for dormice and honey. You grimace. Those little rodents look like gummy bears gone wrong, but you take one to be polite. It's chewy, sweet, and not terrible. Still, you're pacing yourself. One bad move, and you're that guy. The room's a pressure cooker of egos, and you're starting to feel it. Every guest is performing, laughing too loud, praising the food too much. You spot a senator slipping a gold-rimmed cup into his tunic, and you stifle a laugh. Kleptomania, the unofficial Roman party game. You're tempted to call him out, but you'd rather not start a brawl. Instead, you sip your wine, the watered-down buzz keeping you sharp. The air's thick with perfume and sweat, and you notice the servants' eyes darting, judging. They've seen it all: gluttony, gossip, and worse. You wonder what stories they'd tell if they could. A poet stands, droning about Bacchus, and you zone out, pondering the vomit myth again. It's less about excess and more about control. You think, mastering your body In a world where indulgence is king, you're not buying the cartoonish image of toga-clad bros high-fiving over buckets. This feast is calculated, every bite a move in Rome's endless power game. You lean back, dodging another dormouse, and brace for what's next. The night's young, and this party's just getting started. You're deep in the Roman feast now, the triclinium pulsing with chatter and the clatter of silver trays. The latest course lands, peacock stuffed with figs, its feathers fanned out like a Vegas showgirl's headdress. You stare, half awed, half appalled. This isn't just food. It's a statement, a culinary middle finger to anyone who can't keep up. You're starting to grasp the game. In Rome, what's on your plate screams your status louder than any speech. You poke at the peacock, wondering how much this bird cost Lucius, your host. Historical records, like Apicius's cookbook, detail Roman menus that read like a zookeeper's inventory. Ostrich, giraffe, even bear. The elite didn't eat for taste, they ate to dominate. Importing a single peacock from India could bankrupt a lesser man. But for Lucius, it's pocket change. You take a bite, it's gamey, drowned in garum's fishy tang. Not your favorite, but you nod approvingly. Eyes are watching. A quirky tidbit. Some hosts served Trojan pig, a whole boar stuffed with live thrushes that flew out when carved. You're glad Lucius skipped that one. You're not ready for a bird ambush. Historians still argue whether these dishes were about pleasure or pure flex. Did Romans love the taste or just the bragging rights? You're leaning toward the latter as you watch a guest gush over the peacock, though his face says he's choking it down. Status is everything here. The food's a prop in a theater of wealth, and you're all actors. You notice a woman flaunting a pearl-encrusted spoon, her way of saying, "I'm richer than you." You roll your eyes. Subtlety's not Rome's thing. The room's a sensory overload. Cinnamon wafts from a sauce. Flutes trill, and someone's laughing too loud, probably at a bad joke about Caesar's toga. You catch a servant smirk. They're the real MVPs, dodging drunk guests and spilled wine. You're tempted to sneak them a fig as thanks, but that'd break protocol. Instead, you sip your diluted wine, the buzz keeping you alert. Another course looms. Flamingo tongues, maybe? You shudder. Eating that feels like a crime against nature, but refusing's a social death sentence. You lean back, scanning the crowd. Every bite's a power play, every dish a trophy. Lucius beams, basking in the praise, but you see the strain in his eyes. Hosting this is a gamble. Nail it, and he's a legend. Flop, and he's gossip fodder. You almost feel bad for him. Almost. A guest nearby jokes about a rival's failed feast, where the lampreys arrived dead. You chuckle, but it's a grim reminder. In Rome, your menu is your legacy. You brace for the next course, hoping it's not something with wings. You're sunk into the triclinium's cushions. The Roman feast, a whirlwind of clinking cups and half-slurred boasts. The peacock's gone, replaced by a glistening heap of sow's udders in mint sauce. You blink, trying to act like this is normal, but your stomach's begging for mercy. Beyond the food, though, you're starting to notice the real game unfolding, not on the plates, but in the glances, whispers, and calculated laughs. This feast isn't just a meal, it's a social minefield, and you're learning the rules fast. Roman banquets were networking events on steroids. Historical texts, like Cicero's letters, show how feasts sealed alliances, brokered deals, or buried hatchets, sometimes literally. Your host, Lucius, isn't just feeding you. He's curating a room of power players. You catch him nodding at a senator, a silent "we're good" that probably means a vote's been bought. But it's not all business. A quirky tidbit? Guests often played convivium games, like tossing wine-soaked bread at targets or betting on riddles. You spot a guy lobbing a fig at a servant's tray, missing spectacularly. Everyone roars, but you see his rival smirk. Point scored. Historians still argue whether these social games built bonds or just masked backstabbing. Were feasts a rare moment of camaraderie, or a glitzy cage for Rome's elite to claw at each other? You're betting on the cage as you dodge a guest's overly friendly arm. He's fishing for gossip, and you're not biting. The hierarchy's brutal. Men recline, women sit upright, and freedmen hover at the edges, grateful just to be here. You're mid-tier, so you keep your head down, nodding at Lucius's bad joke about chariot races. It's not funny, but you laugh. Survival 101. The air's thick with perfume and tension. A woman across the room drops a veiled jab about someone's rustic estate, and the target flushes. You stifle a grin. Shade in Rome's an art form. A servant refills your cup, and you murmur thanks, earning a flicker of surprise. They're invisible to most, but you're not that guy. Another course arrives. Stuffed dates. Thank Jupiter. Something normal. You nibble, pacing yourself, while a poet recites something about Venus. You zone out, mapping the room's alliances. Who's cozying up? Who's snubbing who? It's like high school, but with better wine and worse consequences. You lean back, the liar's hum softening your edges. This feast is a tightrope. Charm too much, and you're a try-hard. Too little, and you're nobody. You're getting the hang of it, but one wrong move could tank you. Lucius catches your eye, raising his cup. You mirror him, heart racing. Did you just level up time to dwell. Another guest's joking about a rival's toga, churned from rancid wool. You chuckle, but you're watching, learning, playing the game. You're still draped across the triclinium couch. The Roman feast, a dizzying blur of clattering dishes and tipsy laughter. The stuffed dates are gone, and now servants parade in with amphorae of Falernian wine. Its honeyed aroma cutting through the haze of garum and sweat. You're handed a fresh cup, undiluted this time, and the room tilts as you sip. Things are getting loose. Voices louder, gestures bolder, and the line between party and pandemonium thinning. You're in the thick of it, navigating a night where wine fuels both revelry and ruin. Wine was Rome's social lubricant, and historical records, like Pliny's Natural History, list over 100 varieties, from cheap tavern swill to vintages aged for decades. Falernian, like you're drinking now, was the elite's gold standard, costing more than a laborer's yearly wage. You swirl it, feeling faintly posh, but the buzz is real. A quirky tidbit? Some Romans mixed wine with bizarre additives, seawater, chalk, even lead, for health or flavor. You're glad Lucius skipped the lead. You'd rather not glow in the dark. Historians still argue whether heavy drinking was a status symbol or a societal crutch. Did Romans booze to flaunt wealth or to cope with their cutthroat world? You're leaning toward both as you watch a guest spill his cup, slurring about his new chariot. The room's unraveling. A woman dances on a table, her bangles jangling, and the crowd cheers, half in awe, half in scandal. You're torn between clapping and hiding. Rome's not big on restraint. Lucius, your host, laughs, but his eyes dart nervously. Too much chaos, and his reputation's toast. You spot a senator groping a servant who dodges with practiced grace. You wince. Power's ugly when the wine flows. A guest nearby jokes about Bacchus. He'd blush at this mess. You chuckle, but it's tense. The god of wine's spirit feels close tonight. The music's wilder. Drums join the lyres, and someone's banging a tambourine off beat. You're offered another pour, but you wave it off, remembering that garum-soaked peacock. Pacing's your superpower. A freedman at the room's edge sways, clearly unused to this much booze, and you feel for him. He's here to impress, but he's one bad stumble from disgrace. You catch a whiff of rosewater as a guest staggers past, muttering about a rival's pigsty villa. Shade never sleeps in Rome. You lean back, the wine warming your veins. The feast's a runaway chariot, thrilling, but one crash from disaster. Lucius claps for acrobats who tumble in, juggling torches. The crowd roars, but you're watching the exits. Things are fun until someone's toga catches fire. You sip lightly, bracing for whatever's next, knowing this night's teetering on glorious chaos. You're still sprawled in the triclinium, the Roman feast now a roaring tide of wine-fueled chaos. The acrobats have cartwheeled out, leaving a haze of torch smoke and cheers. Your cup's half empty, the Falernian's buzz humming in your veins, but you're keeping it together, barely. The latest course, jellied eel in cumin sauce, wobbles on the table, and you pass. Your stomach's waving a white flag, and you're starting to wonder what this gluttony's doing to everyone's insides. Is this decadence a thrill or a slow-motion disaster? Roman feasting wasn't just a social flex. It was a health gamble. Historical records, like Celsus's medical texts, warn of overeating's toll, bloating, heart strain, even sudden death for the unlucky. Elite Romans knew the risks but kept gorging, chasing status over survival. A quirky tidbit? Some swore by bizarre remedies, like drinking vinegar or swallowing pebbles to settle the stomach. You're not sold. That sounds like a recipe for regret. Historians still argue whether feasting was a disciplined ritual or reckless abandon. Did Romans control their excess, or did it control them? You're eyeing a guest, pale and sweaty, and betting on the latter. You shift on the couch, the silk sticking to your skin. The room's a furnace of bodies and bravado, but you're noticing cracks. A senator's nodding off, his chin slick with sauce, and a woman's giggling so hard she's hiccuping. You're no doctor, but this can't be good. The servants keep moving, clearing plates, dodging spills, their faces blank, but their eyes sharp. You catch one, stifling a yawn. Same, pal. You're tempted to sneak out for air, but that'd mean missing the drama. And there's always drama. A guest nearby jokes about a rival who ate himself to Hades last month. You laugh, but it's uneasy. The line between feast and funeral feels thin. The music's softer now, flutes weaving a dreamy thread, but the vibe's still electric. Lucius, your host, calls for more wine, his voice slurring just enough to notice. He's riding the high, but you see the strain. He's got to keep this circus under control. You wonder how many hosts crashed and burned, bankrupted or poisoned by their own ambition. Probably too many. You lean back, dodging another eel offering. The feast's a paradox. It's life, power, connection, but it's also a ticking clock. You're learning to savor the chaos without drowning in it, but your body's begging for a break. One more course, you tell yourself, and you'll slip away, unless things get weirder. You're still sunk in the triclinium's cushions, the Roman feast, a heady blur of wine, sweat, and half-eaten eel. The air's thick, the flute's melody pow a slow pulse under the slurred chatter. You're nursing your cup, the Falernian's warmth fading, when a servant lights incense, its smoky curl hinting at something deeper than just a party. You're starting to sense it. This feast isn't just about status or survival. It's got roots in the divine, a thread tying Rome's excess to its gods. Feasts often doubled as religious rites. Historical records, like Ovid's Fasti, describe banquets honoring Jupiter, Bacchus, or household gods, with food offered as sacrifice before the gorging began. Lucius, your host, likely poured wine for the lares, household spirits, before you even arrived. You spot a small altar in the corner, its stone stained with oil and crumbs. A quirky tidbit: some Romans invited their gods to dine, setting out empty couches for divine guests. You glance at an untouched seat, half expecting Jupiter to show up and demand a dormouse. Historians still argue whether these rituals were heartfelt or just social theater. Did Romans truly fear divine wrath, or was it a fancy excuse to party? You're betting on a mix, faith and flexing, hand in hand. The room's softer now, the chaos dialing back as incense swirls. A guest murmurs a prayer before sipping, and you catch Lucius tossing a fig onto the altar's flame. It's casual but deliberate, a nod to powers bigger than his bank account. You're struck by the contrast. This wild, wasteful night, grounded by whispers of the sacred. It's Rome in a nutshell. Earthly ambition wrapped in heavenly excuses. You shift, the couch creaking, and wonder how many here actually believe. Probably fewer than they'd admit. A woman nearby jokes about a priest who got drunk at a Venus feast, tripping over his own robes. You chuckle, but the story's a reminder. Even the divine can't escape Rome's party vibe. The servants glide past, one balancing a tray of rose petals to scatter over the tables, a nod to beauty, or maybe just another flex. You're tempted to grab a petal as a souvenir, but you're not that bold. Instead, you sip your wine, the buzz steady, and watch the room. A guest stumbles, blaming Bacchus's wrath, and the crowd laughs. You smirk, convenient scapegoat. The feast feels layered now, not just a power grab, but a dance with the gods. You're still dodging weird dishes, still playing the social game, but there's a hum of something bigger. Lucius raises his cup, toasting to Jupiter's glory, and you join in, your voice soft. The night's a ritual, and you're part of it, whether you believe or not. You're still reclining in the triclinium, the Roman feast winding down, like a chariot slowing its charge. The incense lingers, mixing with the fading scent of roasted boar and spilled wine. The room's quieter now. Guests slouch, voices slur, and the once sharp social games feel blunted by exhaustion. You're picking at a stray fig, your stomach grateful for the pause, but your mind's racing. These lavish banquets, with their divine nods and dizzying excess, can't last forever. You're starting to see cracks in Rome's decadent armor, hints of a decline that's already whispering through the empire. By the late empire, around the 4th century CE, historical records like Ammianus Marcellinus's chronicles show feasts growing rarer among the elite. Economic strain, barbarian invasions, and Christian asceticism started choking out the old extravagance. The peacock stuffed with figs lifestyle was fading, replaced by simpler meals or church-driven charity dinners. A quirky tidbit? Some die-hard aristocrats clung to the old ways, hosting secret feasts to dodge Christian critics, like pagans sneaking a toga party. Historians still argue whether this shift was moral progress or cultural loss. Did Rome grow wiser or just poorer and preachier? You're leaning toward a mix. Less gold-dusted food, more guilt-dusted sermons. You scan the room, imagining it a century later. Would Lucius still be tossing figs at altars or handing out bread to monks? The thought's jarring. This feast, with its lyres and lampreys, feels eternal, but it's not. You notice a guest, half drunk, muttering about rising taxes and Gothic raids. The vibe's still festive, but there's an edge, a flicker of worry under the wine. You're no prophet, but you sense the party's days are numbered. A servant clears your plate, and you catch his glance. Does he know something you don't? Probably. A guest nearby jokes about a senator who sold his villa to fund one last blowout. You laugh, but it's hollow. The punchline's too real. The music's faded to a single flute, its notes thin and wistful. Lucius, your host, looks drained, his smile forced as he toasts Rome's glory. You raise your cup, but it feels heavy. The excess, the dormice, the Falernian, the gods themselves can't outrun time. You're struck by how fragile this all is. A glittering bubble waiting to pop. You lean back, the couch creaking under you. The feast's still alive, but you're seeing its ghost. The social ladder, the divine rituals, the power plays. They're slipping like sand through Rome's fingers. You nibble your fig, savoring it, knowing nights like this won't come again. You're slumped on the triclinium couch, the Roman feast, now a fading echo of its earlier roar. The torches flicker low, casting long shadows over scattered petals and half-eaten figs. The flute's gone silent, and the guests, those still awake, mumble in wine-soaked haze. Lucius, your host, slouches, his once sharp grin dulled by exhaustion. You're nursing a final sip of Falernian, the taste bittersweet, and you're starting to feel the weight of this night, not just in your stomach, but in your thoughts. Rome's lavish feasts are slipping into history, but their shadow stretches far, whispering into your world. The legacy of Roman banquets lingers in modern dining culture. Historical records, like Apicius's recipes, inspired European cuisine, with echoes in our love for lavish spreads and social dinners. That garum, it's a distant cousin to Worcestershire sauce. A quirky tidbit? Medieval lords mimicked Roman excess, serving subtleties, edible sculptures, to flex like Lucius did with his peacock. Historians still argue whether Rome's feasts shaped our indulgence or our restraint. Did they teach us to celebrate connection or to chase status through excess? You're thinking both as you recall that time you splurged on a fancy dinner just to impress someone. Rome's in your bones. The room's nearly empty now. A guest stumbles out, muttering about his chariot driver, and you catch a servant sweeping crumbs, their face unreadable. You wonder what they'd say about this circus. Probably that we're all fools, then and now. A final joke drifts over. Someone quips about a poet who wrote an ode to a lamprey. You chuckle, but it's soft, your energy fading with the night. The feast's lessons, power, ritual, fragility, stick with you. You're no senator, but you felt the pull of showing off, of wanting to be seen. Rome's not so far away. You rise, legs wobbly, and slip toward the exit. The cool night air hits, grounding you. This feast, this moment, it's gone, but it's left a mark. You carry it through every shared meal, every toast, every time you chase a little glory. You step into the Roman night, the stars above sharp and quiet. The city's hum a gentle lullaby. The feast's chaos fades, like a dream dissolving in dawn's light. You breathe deep, the air cool, carrying hints of olive groves and distant fires. Your tunic brushes your skin, softer now, as if the night's weight has lifted. You're safe, you're whole, and the world feels slower, kinder. Picture yourself wandering Rome's cobbled streets, the clatter of chariots fading, the glow of villas dimming one by one. Each step pulls you closer to rest, your eyelids heavier, your thoughts drifting like petals on a breeze. The feasts, the gods, the games, their stories now, tucked safely in your mind. Let them settle, let them fade. You're here in this moment, and it's enough. Curl up wherever you are and let the stars watch over you. Sleep's calling, soft and sure. Sweet dreams.